All right, I got asked today, what was my favorite video from last year where I saved a client from a total train wreck? This is one of my very favorite videos of all times because this was a client that I didn't even get paid for doing the inspection. They just asked me as a courtesy to look at the roof because they were moving forward with this purchase. And when I got there, I saw this stuff and it kind of angered me because they were like, oh yeah, all these cracks are no big deal. The realtor and the seller were here and they told us that it's an old house built in the 50s and it was built this way. So check it out. This is a big bunch of note, but this is one of my very favorite videos. Just off right now. I'm very animated right now and I want to show you why. This is the second time in the last year and a half that I have heard a listing agent tell a client, a potential buyer, that they got a report from a good home inspector in the area saying nothing's wrong with this house. Let me show you this place. This is one of the most significant problems that I've seen in my career. Walked into this house, and the first thing that I noticed up here, let me see if I can get you guys to see that, is a crack in the wall. But that isn't your typical diagonal crack coming off the corner. Like your typical minor settlement crack, that ain't it. If you look at that crack right there, and then you come over here, and you look at this crack right here running up the wall, this crack right here at the door, and you'll see it's kind of a step crack that runs all the way up to the ceiling. Over to this archway, we've got this crack, which mirrors right to this separation crack right here. And then that separation crack turns into this ceiling crack, which runs all the way along that wall. But here's the more significant part that we see. Check this out. We've got that crack running all the way down that wall. I want you to look at how unlevel this house is, and I'm going to tell you what a home inspector wrote in a report that these guys have in their hands right now. We've got the laser level starting over there in that corner. Look how significant the sloping of this floor is. Over here, we're about 11 inches off the floor. Over here, we're only about 6 inches. 5 inches of slope to this living room floor. Laser can't even hit over there. It's bottoming out on the floor. But you come across the kitchen floor. I don't know if you can see that laser line, but we've got about 2.5 inches just here in the kitchen alone. That doesn't get all the way to the other side. So I'm guessing this is probably 3 to 4 inches of slope in this kitchen floor. Back bedroom. We've got probably 4.5 inches of slope to this floor. Go in the basement, and this is where it gets really good. I'm standing here with the buyers, and I'm standing here with the realtor, who are to remain anonymous for now. And I'm letting them know how angry I am because, frankly, the inspection report that they got, in my opinion, is fraud. It's absolute, unequivocal fraud, and I'm going to show you right now. And this wall is leaning this direction. This is not plumb or level. And it gets more pronounced. I don't know if I can come down here and you'll be able to see it. But you can see that wall right there is leaning that direction. Now this is where it's interesting. I could side light and I can show you right here where there is a horizontal crack with displacement that has been parge coated. They've done the parging over this. But look, you've got new cracking in the parge coating. That means the house is continuing to move. You come over here, this whole wall has been completely repaired, all of it. This has all been repaired, but you can see a crack right there. That's a big crack in the wall. And this is masonry. This is CMU. This is block masonry. And you can see where the repair stops right here. And then we come over here. I can see step cracks with some displacement here. And then right there is another, this right here is another diagonal crack in this wall. But here's the interesting thing. When you come to the other side of the house, this wall is aiming that direction. It's mirrored with the wall over there that's leaning forward. This one is leaning back at exactly the same angle. In their hand is an inspection report from a local company that says they are building inspectors. And in that report, it says that this house was built this way. It's not a structural concern. The house was built this way. In 1950, they didn't have levels. They didn't have anything, they just built homes crooked. They built it with the walls leaning. They built it with the foundation cracked. They built it with the footings settled into the ground. And let me show you that real quick. The footing, the foundation footing, watch what it does when it gets over here. It starts to get thinner and thinner and thinner as you go. And I pulled up this floor, and what do I see? Significant cracking. Starts right here, and it goes all the way up that wall, or up this floor. And this is where all that settlement is. What happened here is there's been significant structural movement. There has been significant settlement. This house has some significant structural problems. We've got a house right now that is leaning. The whole house is leaning. The foundation is settled. The floors, we're talking up to 5 or 6 inches of slope to the floors. And these people are being told that it's perfectly fine and the house was built that way. This is the kind of stuff that makes me mad. That's why I'm so animated, because they called me over to look at this and we're like, here's the report. And I really want to say the name of this local company that gave them this report. And I just might, honestly, I just might. Here's in that room is the living room where that wall crack was. And you come down here and what do we see? Right there, a crack in exactly the same spot. How's that look to you? Does it look like they built it that way? Does that look like no big deal? This wall, how's that look? Other side of the wall, how does that look? It looks exactly the same as the other side, but the opposite direction. I'm holding my camera level right now. Do you see that wall? People were told the house was built this way. This is the kind of thing that you guys hear me talking about all the time in my videos, and how we need to bring ethics back to real estate. We need to be doing a thorough, qualified job for clients, not writing these soft reports telling them, oh, it was built that way in 1950. I can't even begin to tell you how much that angers me. This is what brings discredit to our industry. This is what makes people write negative comments, on my videos saying home inspectors suck. It's kind of like with cops, right? It only takes a couple bad cops for people to start hating cops. It's kind of the same thing, and it really upsets me.